If you're looking to build muscle in your shoulders, stop diluting the amount of work that the shoulders have to go through in your bent over rows. Welcome to Fitness Integrated Science. I'm Lauren Eirk, and in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 most common mistakes that people make in the exercise bent over row that actually takes away from the amount of work that their shoulder actually has to do. Now, if our goal is to build muscle, we want to have as much time under tension as possible. So these 3 tips will really help you get there. Now, for the first tip of this exercise, it really is going to be lying in the setup of the exercise. The muscles that we're trying to train, which are sitting in the back of the shoulder and the mid-upper back, they're in the back of the body. And if I decide that I want to perform this exercise with dumbbells, to be able to get this dumbbell to resist muscles in the back of my body, I've got to bend over parallel to the ground so that I am at a perpendicular line or perpendicular position from the line of force of this dumbbell. That's one of the principles of biomechanics. For something to have resistance, it's got to oppose. So what if I can't get down there? And so when I go into this exercise, I can only get this far down. Or maybe I can't stabilize and I'm moving up and down. You can see that the muscles are actually facing back that way, and I'm not gaining any resistance into the area I'm trying to train. For this region, I suggest that you take an external device like a chair or a bench and use it to support your body weight. If I come forward and place one hand on a chair, immediately I'm in position to oppose this dumbbell with the largest moment arm possible or distance from the shoulder. So from here, I'm going to come into my rowing motion, trying to maintain a nice extended spine. If I were to do this exercise with a rounded back because I couldn't get down there, this actually rolls my shoulder off of my back and really takes away not only from shoulder work, but from also mid-upper back work that is a big, big part of this exercise. So taking yourself down on the chair first, getting into setup, and then performing the exercise really makes a lot of sense. Now, what if you don't have a chair involved or that still doesn't feel good? I would suggest trying a different types of resistance. Using an elastic band under the foot, for instance, will allow me to change my line of force. So instead of worrying about getting down perpendicular to line of force by going to the ground, the line of force becomes the band itself. So I have to get my torso perpendicular to this, which really is about here. That way, when I'm going into my rowing motion, my stabilization requirements are definitely not as much, but I'm still gaining all the benefit for my shoulder muscles. Now, if you notice, as I go from the trunk, the next joint that we want to talk about is in the shoulder position. So the second mistake that people make is they don't move from the shoulder. You can see I'm doing this exercise and I'm just bending my elbow, drawing my weight forward and back, but my shoulder really never moves. Now, this is one thing that we want to train first and foremost before we ever worry about bringing the dumbbell towards us. Can we retract the shoulder? So the dumbbell is pulling my shoulder off of my back. I'm going to use the weight of the dumbbell to draw my shoulder blade onto my back. And you really want to think about that. Think about where your shoulder blade is and feel it moving into the spine, into the center of your back. Now, when you're doing this exercise, try doing this for a while, then see if you can hold it there. From there, add that bending of the elbow, drawing the weight towards you. When you come out of the exercise, you can let that shoulder drop again, but remember, the first step needs to be to draw the shoulder back and then perform that rowing motion. Now, when we think about the rowing motion, we have another joint at play, and this is going to be my third mistake that people make, is where I'm placing my hand in relationship to my elbow. As we're getting tired in our bent over rows, what we don't realize that we're doing is that we allow that dumbbell to move closer to the shoulder, which actually makes the shoulder do less work. It also dilutes some of the work into my bicep and out of the shoulder. So what's a fix? I have to think about the cue, take the pinky finger to the back wall, making sure that my wrist stays underneath my elbow. What this does is it increases the distance between the dumbbell and the shoulder joint that's working. This is going to produce greater torque or greater force about that joint in the shoulder and maximize the amount of work that my shoulder has to go through. So again, from the three things we talked about, number one, I've got to be able to get myself down to where I am opposing whatever resistance that I'm using. So setup. Number two, I have to make sure that I am moving from my shoulders. And number three, making sure that my hand stays underneath my elbow so that I'm not putting a lot of the resistance into my biceps. Now, those three tips are things that I've given my clients for years, and I promise you, if you adhere to those in your program, your results in your training are going to go through the roof. Now, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and share it with anyone that you know that I can help. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you never miss a video. And if you'd like more information, check out Fitness Integrated Science TV, where I have a lot of videos, exercise programs that you can use to help with a lot of these biomechanical tools that will save your joints over time and help you age with grace. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.